All right, we're here back on the show today, and we're joined by Mike Murphy, the founder of the Love from Margot Foundation, an entrepreneur from the San Francisco Bay Area with an extreme amount of success behind him, and the author of the book that he has in his hand, Love Unfiltered. Mike, thanks for coming back.
Thanks for having me.
Listen, we want to jump right into it today. You've got some really amazing things to share about manifestation. This is the art of making things happen. What does that mean to you?
It's really taking the time. Most people, they spend more time planning a vacation than they do planning their life. So step number one is taking the time to really look at your life and look at where you want to go. We're manifesting right now. Right. Everything we think becomes reality. Everything we say becomes reality. So let's take the time and really clearly identify what it is we want and then put it in a way where it guarantees its fruition into your life in a very strong, powerful, and quick way.
Is there some techniques that somebody can do? I mean, with all of the mire of everything that people are going through in their lives today, the first thing somebody who reads this or sees the video is going to say is, yeah, that sounds too easy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is the story of the book, really. It's the story of my life. I grew up in an alcoholic home. It was a difficult way to be raised. I ran away at 14. I have no education. And frankly, my life was a mess. At the age of 23, I was a total first-class loser, if you will. Right. And I was okay with it. But what I couldn't live with, the fact that other people knew it, like my wife and her family. And that's the part I couldn't handle. I couldn't live with that realization.
The shame of it.
That other people realized that I was a loser. And it caused me to do what I did my whole life, take off and run. And in this particular instance, my wife wouldn't take me back. So there I was, 23 years old, no education, no money, no place to live, rudderless in a crazy world. And this was in the 80s. And I met a guy who said to me, hey, your life is a mess. I have somebody I think can help you. And it turned out as I went to this man's house once a week for an hour for 7 weeks. And he told me at the end of this process, he would guarantee me that I will manifest or create anything it is that I desired in my life. And there was a lot of things that I desired and wanted to change. Right. And so I had motivation. Tony Robbins talks a lot about leverage. So I had great leverage because I had nothing going for me. So I desperately wanted to change. But what he taught me was so powerful that things happened so quickly and beyond my wildest imaginations. One manifestation is I wanted to make $10,000 a month. Well, in a few years, I'm making $100,000 a month. I wanted to own my own house, and in 10 years, I have a $4 million house. And so, but that's all well and good, being able to manifest material things. But what happened to me with the death of my wife is I realized that we're called for a higher purpose, that for humanity to continue to evolve as it has for, all these years, we have to get back to the realization that we're here to love and serve one another. And that's the only thing that's going to take us into a new direction. But what this man taught me is so powerful, and it's really the essence of the book. For anybody that wants to create something different or more powerful or more real or higher purpose in their life, this technique, I promise you, will work if you work it.
I hate to tell you this because I know this is going to create a backlash from you, but it sounded like The Secret. Are you just telling people, you think about it in osmosis and it's going to happen in reality? Is this what you're trying to convey to people, or is there something more detailed here? Is there something?
There's more detail in what this man taught me. I've read 1,000 books on manifestation, from The Secret to Think and Grow Rich to The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, which was written by a guy in the 40s, Joseph Murphy. So every book, I've studied this. I mean, Jesus talked about it. Right. All the great spiritual teachers have talked about it, because in reality, this is how everything started, with the Word. God said, let there be light, and there was. And so it all starts with a thought, a word or a description, and a desired result. It cannot not happen. Everything starts here. iPhone, for example, it started here. Right. Okay, everything has to start here, and then you need a plan. But this man gave me a twist that really creates power. So briefly, let me go over it with you. The first thing we had to do was identify what I wanted in my life, and then write it in real present tense as if it had already taken place.
You make it sound like that's an important part of the equation.
It's very, very important that how you write and describe what you want, because you have to kind of get through the conscious mind into the subconscious mind. The truth is, we've been programmed. and manipulated since we were born.
Absolutely.
And with the great brainwasher of all time, the television set, this generation has been really exposed to mass brainwashing. And it's easy to manipulate someone's mind and take control of it and brainwash them. And when you do, then you can take control of the body and you get the action that they want. So we're operating an operating system, if you will, okay, 95% of the time based on somebody else's input. From our parents and our teachers up until, 6, 7, 8 years old, we've been programmed. And so you might say something to me today that pushes a trigger that something my father did or my mother did or something happened in school, that I go off on you. It has nothing to do with you.
Right.
It has nothing to do with me, but I'm operating from this operating system that's been programmed. So one, we have to identify and realize that, and then get really clear on what we want. Einstein said there's no such thing as time, okay? So in reality, we're creating this future, but it's fluid. There's fluidity to all this because in reality, there are no walls. There is no glass ceiling. It's just a figment of this. It's programming. In reality, we're everything that has been, always will be, and is. We're consciousness itself. And if we can get right exactly what we want and put it in a way where it's powerful and then link a powerful emotion to it. And here's the trick, what the man taught me. And this is what I want the reader to get. First, assume that you can't fail and money's not an object. So let's get all the limitations beyond, and then sit down and figure out what you want, and then narrow it down into 4 things, 4 macro things that I like to live my life by. And I believe that we're spiritual beings, we're mental beings, we're obviously physical beings, and we're emotional beings. So find something that that's going to move your heart, maybe to love somebody or get forgiveness or to correct a wrong or whatever. And a powerful thing, and write that becoming real. That in my example, for example, when I met this man, I was separated from my wife and I had a young daughter that I desperately wanted to get back. Well, my wife hated me because I left her. We're divorced and there was no hope. Right? Until this man taught me how to write it as if we were back together in a loving marriage. And then he taught me how to record it using my own voice. And he taught me how to get into a self-hypnotic trance. And basically it's just a relaxation technique and it's in my book verbatim, and it's just, I am relaxed. My face is relaxed. And you go through this, and in the background, he had me play theta brainwave music, which everything is frequency. Nikola Tesla said everything is frequency and energy. And so what drives the universe is sound, and sound is power. And that's when the Bible says, and God said, let there be this, and it happened, because that's the way it works. And so I wrote out what I wanted. I recorded this script, got into a self-hypnotic trance with background theta brainwave music, put in me a state where it's easier to go into a trance, reprogram my subconscious mind, but at the same time put out into the universe these waves of frequency, my intentions and my desires. And literally, everything rearranges itself to bring us the desire. This is the way it works. This is how trees grow. This is how babies are born and breathe. And when you get this concept, and then here's the power, is listen to it every morning and every night. First thing when I wake up, I would listen to all these intentions recorded in my own voice. And sometimes it was difficult. I mean, here I am in a lot of pain because I don't have my wife and my daughter.
You're at the bottom trying to listen to yourself hyped up.
Exactly. Well, I'm listening to myself paint a picture of me and my wife reconciled, remarried, raising a family, having another chance, right? And well, that's painful because over here she's seeing someone else and I'm living in this lousy little apartment and I have nothing. Right. Someone said 80% of life is showing up. So basically I showed up, I did what I was told, and bingo, I'm telling you these things. Today I use this, sometimes I'll laugh at how quickly I can manifest something that's important to my life today. And it's a technique that just works.
So I loved reading the book because you went into that detail about this guy you were referred to. And what you're talking about now is not just some made-up story. He had you physically recording onto a disc exactly what you saw as the future of your life and listening to it several times a day.
The first week he said, hey, what is the most important thing in your life right now? I said, I want to be reconciled with my wife and daughter. We spent 45 minutes me writing out 2 paragraphs of what that would feel like, look like in present time, present tense, as if it was already real, okay? I forget the book, but I read a great book once that says, act as if, okay? And you just act as if it's already real and it will become real. It has to. And that's what people have to get. It has to. And I know this sounds like, if you're not exposed to this or have done it before, it sounds crazy, right? But in reality, this is what Jesus taught. All the great spiritual teachers have taught in this concept. Jesus said, say unto this mountain, move, and it will move. And that was the concept he was talking about. I'm not going to get into that right now. But that's how powerful this is. We can accomplish anything, and we utilize 1 or 2% of what's available to us in the universe.
It was actually Gandhi that said, be the change. He was
Exactly.
saying up front to manifest it, to be it in the beginning.
Yeah, and Wayne Dyer, in a lot of his books, took that ball and ran with it and said, become what you want to be. Tony Robbins says, hey, find someone that's successful or has something that you want and copy them, model them.
So manifestation is not a new theory. But I think, now that I've read this and have had the luxury of reading the next book a year before it comes out, I'm reminded immediately listening to you of that story of when you realized that prayer could help Margot. And you took the idea of manifesting to an entire new level by reaching out to a community of people and asked them all to pray in unison. And the effects you saw in that. So you actually saw that happen.
Well, yeah, I mean, when Margot's doctor said to her, you have either 6 weeks to live or 6 months, depending on whether you choose to treat it or not. I went into a mode of, okay, let's call on every resource that we can, and spirituality being a big part of both of our lives, I created a place for people to go and sign up and pray for her, or if they don't believe in prayer, to just send loving, healing thoughts to her, energy, okay? And so literally, we created this website of a map of the world, and you could see where every unique IP address came from. Every continent was blanketed with people that had signed up to spend 5 minutes of their day either sending her love and healing energy or saying a prayer for her. And today, my iPhone goes off every morning at 8 o'clock, and I pray for our clients. So on our website now, we have a list of all of our clients and their story, and we ask the healthy members of our community to pray for the ones that are struggling, and women are going through cancer.
Well, I think from reading your books and hanging out with you, I think the other thing that I've realized is that the idea of manifesting is also a call to action for yourself, because you are very serious about speaking out the things into your life that you want, writing them down, but then I see a directional shift and you go in that direction, and these things happen as you're going along. Is that an important part of the equation?
Of course, and for a couple reasons. And the other thing is, it works both ways. I'm a human being, and it's easy in this world to get into a negative state as well and create negative outcomes in our life. If we don't watch our self-talk and where we're headed, it's easy to go the other way as well. We're always manifesting. Right. From the moment you come out of the womb, you manifest the ability to breathe pretty quickly. And then shortly thereafter, you start manifesting the ability to crawl, and then to walk, and then to speak, and then to get into school and learn social behaviors. So you're always creating and manifesting. That's evolution. That's how we got from a single cell amoeba to a multi-cell organism called a human. And so this is a constant state. I just really want to encourage people to be aware of what you're doing, because your thoughts and your words and your behavior is creating your destiny. And you can change it like that. That's my message. I want to grab people, some are close to me in my life today. I want to grab them and say, hey, listen, you can turn this around like this. Just wake up and be conscious and realize that the power that we have. Because we are connected to the source. In today's world, whoever they are, want us to forget who we really are. And we are spiritual beings having a physical experience here, and a very short one. Right. Okay? I mean, Earth is 13 billion years old or so. Okay, so whether we're here 38 years like Margot or hopefully 88 years like me, it doesn't really matter. It's a blink of an eye. Correct. So, because you never die, you just transcend your body. You leave your body at some point, and you take these experiences with you to wherever. I don't remember, but I can't wait to find out again.
Listen, anybody that's seeing this video in particular, the only way people are going to see it is if they've bought this book. And we've had a chance to spend some time with Mike Murphy and hear some inner thoughts about making things happen. What kind of thoughts do you want to leave people with? Because you still got a portion of the people that see this video that are saying rubbish.
Nike, just do it. Okay, if it doesn't work, I'll give you your money back, I promise you. If you follow the directions on this book on how to manifest your heart's desire, one, how to clearly identify it, and then how to write it out, And then if you'll record it into your own voice and listen to it every morning, every night, and pay attention to the signs that the universe gives you. And if it doesn't work, I promise you, I'll give you all your money back if you bought this book and you did what it said and it didn't work. Because what I really want is for humanity to wake up and get back to loving and serving one another so we can continue to grow and stop the insanity.
Well, Mike Murphy's dedicated himself to providing free content to people like you and I on a regular basis. So don't stop by watching this video and reading the book. Check out the Love from Margot Foundation. Opt into their mailing list and watch for other incredible videos from an incredible human being.
Thank you, Ken.